This week on The Real Deal, we talk about the auction strategy, or rather the auction campaign. Now, we enjoy as agents working in an auction campaign because we have a starting date and we work towards a cut-off date, which is a date where the idea is that people come to the property on the one day and they compete, and the market tells you exactly where the price sits. It's very transparent, there's no smokes and mirrors, there's no little secret envelopes and things like that going on under the table deals. It's all played out in front of an audience, and that's why it's a public auction. So if somebody wants to settle in 30 days with a 5% deposit, the same courtesy needs to be made available to every single person at the auction if they're registered as a bidder. Of course, here in Queensland, we haven't had dummy bidders at auctions for a very, very long time, or we certainly shouldn't ever have dummy bidders at auctions because they have been outlawed. Now, a couple of things that come up is what's a vendor bid? Well, the vendor bid is when the owner of the property makes a bid themselves, effectively through the auctioneer. Now, in Queensland, the auctioneer can make as many vendor bids as they want. In other words, as many bids as they want on behalf of the vendor, but it's probably not a good idea to make every bid a vendor bid. Now, of course, the southern states have got different rules, and it's a bit confusing for southern buyers coming up if they're looking at purchasing properties under auction conditions. So the typical auction conditions here in Queensland are 5% at the fall of a hammer, 30 days to settle, but you can request longer, and occasionally you can nominate a sum for a deposit. Like, I went to an auction once with a $20,000 check in my pocket, and that's what I deemed as a fair deposit. But it just depends on the owner. The owner's the one that stipulates the terms, not the agent. So don't be scared to ask for a 60-day settlement. Now, another question you probably have about auctions is why cannot agents give a price or a quote ballpark figure? Well, that's because they're not allowed to legally here in Queensland. So if you ask the agent for a price guide, we can't give one, so just don't ask the question. A better question is, what do properties go for around this area? But probably an even better thing to do, so you don't have to ask that question, is do your own research. Get an independent valuation if you want to buy the house. Find out from a qualified valuer exactly where they feel the market sits. And also recent sales in the area. Do your own study. It's not that hard. Get your own subscription to RP Data or Price Finder, or alternatively, go onto the real estate portals, Domain and realestate.com, and put in sold in that suburb, and some information will pop up. Not every price comes to light, but you'll certainly get a fairly good idea of where recent sales values lie. That's all from me today on The Real Deal.